Take me to the ocean. Everybody got motion. And I'm feeling this notion. Cause love is a potion. Take me to the ocean. Oh, let's get it down. Everybody needs someone in life, hey, to live life and enjoy the time. So all the boys and girls come down tonight. Find someone you like and live it out tonight. Oh, you never know what we will find tonight. Love is in the air, and tonight we just don't care. I know we only have the night, so let's do this and make it right. Take me to the ocean. Everybody got motion. And I'm feeling this notion. Cause love is a potion. Take me to the ocean. Oh, let's get it down. Everybody needs someone in life, hey, to live life and enjoy the time. So all the boys and girls come down tonight. Find someone you like and live it out tonight. Live it out tonight. Live it out tonight. Live it out tonight.
9 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. A blessed and beautiful one to you and yours. Welcome to Heartlines. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company. And that double play that kick-started us off ended with El Boy from Sautumi and Principe. And that one titled Ocean. And then before that, a beautiful song coming through from Crayon alongside Arias Star. And that one titled Ngozi. If you've just joined us, please don't touch that dial. It's about to be a rather 2-hour-long journey. And I say journey because I do think that most of our conversations give you the opportunity to firstly explore the conversation, then explore self. Gauge you in the context. Is it fitting? Not? Do you see prospects for a better landscape by virtue of this very conversation? Or perhaps not. You're like, Shayla, actually, this doesn't pertain to me or anything about my life. And so I'm just learning because other people are going to benefit from this wisdom. So I'm capturing it for them. Whatever the chat is, we'd love for you to join us in this next 2 hours. A big thank you has to go out to the Africa World Hour team with Tshepiso Makotla being back. Thank you so much for keeping us abreast with all things news happening in and across the various continents. Now, to let you know what's coming up on the show this evening, first up, the station recap, where we scheme through the boldest, brightest, and most soul-stirring moments across the airwaves on Channel Africa. If it has got to do with talking, feeling, thinking, then we've got it covered. Then we switch gears and dive into something beautifully personal. What if going back to your past dreams was the ultimate act of self-love? What if you, regressing in time, engaging that one thing that made you so happy, is in actual fact how you get to love yourself the most? We journey through the incredible story of Athalia Moore, a powerhouse teacher, devoted mother, loving wife, and singer who dared to dream again. Her story will have you asking, what dreams have I left behind? And what is it, or rather, is it time to go back to those dreams? That question I leave with you, but I also leave with you our number in case you want to send through that WhatsApp voice note, which I know you want to. +27 6340 69126 on X at Channel Africa 1. The same handle will be used for Instagram, TikTok, and if you're looking for us on Facebook, at Channel Africa Radio. For now, we jet back into the music, and when we get back, we recap some of those intriguing conversations that took place today on Channel Africa.
When the sun goes down, we don't stop the talk. Channel Africa, the best nighttime radio.
Sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons à présent dérouler notre tapis rouge pour accueillir notre personnalité du jour, l'artiste chanteur Sheky Frey, qui est en ligne de Guinée avec nous.
Je suis un artiste guinéen, un créateur, un styliste, et je fais un peu ce qui plaît à mes fans. Voilà, c'est un peu ça. On a beaucoup de genres de trucs à faire, mais bon, pour le moment, on est basé un peu sur le rap.
D'accord. À quelle période de votre vie avez-vous commencé à vous intéresser à la musique, Sheky?
Bon, je crois pas qu'il y ait une période, hein, parce que moi, je suis un mélomane depuis mon petit âge.
Annika Longi, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
Heartlines with Sheila Kumana brings you conversations that touch the soul on Channel Africa.
SABC Sport brings you Chasing the Sun, a powerful 5-part documentary series about the Springboks, telling the rousing tale of their path to redemption and ultimate World Cup glory in 2019. Tune in every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2 for the highs, the heartache, and the heroics that made rugby history. Stream each chapter on SABC Plus anytime, anywhere. No subscription needed. Don't miss Chasing the Sun this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2. Be there when history shines.
Heartlines, connecting you with Africa's love culture into the night on Channel Africa, the African perspective. are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Shaking them off faster, shaking keep it okay, shaking them off faster. Namotilo, Jo walese mio. Namotilo, Jo ti walese. Shaking keep it okay, shaking them off faster, shaking keep it okay, shaking them off faster. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. Ah. But I know they ask me you, they want to know. At least they go for my country you. You don't follow, people don't go low. And Jisuru, no easy, no money you. To you, but anchor, you know the flow. If you vex you, then go come up, then go call me you. Carry you go. Anapatelu mi o shomo. Anapatelu me o shomo lomo. Anapatelu mi o shomo. Anapatelu mi o shomo. Shaking kigbe so cute, shaking them off faster. Shaking kigbe so cute, shaking them off faster. Namotilo. Shaking keep it so cute, shaking them off faster, shaking keep it so cute, shaking them off faster. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. Ah. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. Ah. Oh yeah, get more original.
Mama Nele.
Oh yeah, get more original. Oh yeah, get more original. Only now to get to one level. Only now to get to one level. Yeah. Anapatelu mi o shomo. Anapatelu mi o shomo lomo. Anapatelu mi o shomo. Anapatelu mi o shomo lomo. Keep it so cute. Them of us. Keep it so cute. Them of us. Keep it so cute. Them of us. Keep it so cute. Them of us.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
22 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time, ending us off there. Burna Boy with Soke. Before that, we had Salif Keita coming in with Sina. It's time for us to get into our recap of some of the highlights of today on Channel Africa, where we bring you that African perspective. And we kickstart off with the Rise and Shine team. Now, shocking scenes. A mother caught offering her toddler a hit from Mandrax. And this, of course, appealing to very many. And she's now heading to court. And the Save the Children essay is calling for communities to speak out. Margaret Zulu says, if you see it, report it. And then we keep it on the move with Benjamin Mshatama and Palisa Dao. And they asked the very interesting question, is it time for some people to log off forever? Now, Dr. Shahida Omar joins the hot debate on whether social media needs an age gap. What is your take? Find us on social media, specifically on WhatsApp, +27634069126. And then we move on to the Africa Update team with Lulu Gabu, where former Zambian President Edgar Nulungu's burial is now a legal battle in South African courts. Should he be buried here or sent back home to Zambia? A diplomatic dilemma playing out on South African soil.
On hashtag Africa Update Us, we focus on Zambia once again. The story is Edgar Lungu's court case, basically back in the court, in the Pretoria High Court, and we are hoping that decisions will come out from this case of where he should be buried. The family wants him to be buried in South Africa, and Zambia's government wants him to be buried in Zambia at their Heroes Acre. Now, we're asking you, what are you hoping for regarding the court ruling? And should the former president be laid to rest in South Africa or his body repatriated to his home country, Zambia? Let us know your views and your thoughts on all our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram at Channel Africa 1, and Facebook at Channel Africa. You can also send us your...
And then lastly, the Upside team had an opportunity to delve into what are South African women really dealing with in 2025, from pressure to perfection, confidence struggles, and caregiving stress. The Care Barometer by Riverbed tells it all, with the CEO, Mona Zambwila, dropping a few truth bombs.
Our starting point with the research was really to firstly understand what women's aspirations are, which is what they care about. And as you rightly said, what was quite startling for us was this realization that the key thing that is important to women is their financial independence. And this is, I think quite clear against the back of the fact that we know that 48% of households across South Africa are headed by women. And so financial independence becomes really, really important. A close second to that, is this reality of, women prioritizing their families, their partners, and obviously their children, and seeing both financial independence and how they need to show up at home for their families, very much, as mutually inclusive aspirations. What was I would say disheartening, at least for me, is the data point that stated that as little as 5% of the women we surveyed said that their career aspirations were the most important to them. And obviously that is because of a host of different things. So when we did the research, first and foremost, it was to understand what the aspirations are, and then ultimately to ascertain what is getting in the way.
For more on those conversations, visit www.channelafrica.co.za. And lastly, you can catch the podcast on YouTube, the audio-visual podcast. Find it on our page. Channel Africa is the platform you would be looking out for. Up next, we get into an interview that might inspire you to go back to that childhood dream. Or maybe it was a dream that you had when you had started varsity and you thought, this is what I want to do in life. Perhaps that will be the highest form of self-love that you afford yourself. Yes, no, maybe. Let's get into some music.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Tune in to Heartlines, where African hearts meet wisdom, healing, and truth. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Yeah, let me know. Put me on, baby, would you let me know? Hairstyle, baby, I'm loving her. First slide, looking like Genevieve. Next slide, oh, Kylie Jenny. Let me know. Backside, oh, heavy. Can you bother like Ginny and Senator? Say make the girls, them attend your seminar. Oh, baby, let me know. Cause I don't want day forward, oh, but I know feel old myself. She make a day straightforward, oh, girl, out your body on my bed, oh, what do you do, girl, what do you do, yeah, it not be you, me I know feel do, yeah, me I fuck with you, so baby, no, they give me attitude, she say, psycho. Oh, me, I love a psycho, psycho. Just a little psycho, psycho. Come fuck up the psycho. Oh, yeah, yeah. Psycho, psycho. Baby, I'm a ride or die. Come give me a little psycho, psycho. Come fuck up the psycho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty little dark skin girl, I want you to be my love. I could take you around the world. Nobody else that I want. Let me make your life easier. I gonna make you fall in deeper. I got you all in your feelings, girl. I leave it up to you. I don't want to waste this time, girl. Show me how. I can't hold you down, girl. It's not too much to handle. And I'll never hold you back. Let me love you in the morning to the night. Just talk to me. Cause I know I'm there forward, oh, but I know feel hold myself. She make a day straightforward, oh, get out your body on my bed, oh. What do you do? Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, it not be you, me I know feel do, yeah. Yeah, me I fuck with you. So baby, no, they give me attitude. She say she be psycho, psycho. Oh, me I love a psycho, psycho. Just a little psycho, psycho. Come fuck up the psycho. Oh yeah, yeah. Psycho, psycho. Baby, I'm a ride or die. Come give me a little psycho, psycho. Come fuck up the psycho. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
trendybeats.com.
My darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling, 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 oh. Too many fine girls stay for you. But I get it, one in particular, where they close the maritina, yeah. You know, say man, you know, can speak for now. Got the money, get the vocabulary, where you feel it, man, no man. Me did do me, some more boys they do me. Sure you won't come go dey fast all like it, man, no baby. We go spray more milk. All I am is they make it more. Coconut oil, no fit to fry or do man, no man, oh baby. My darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, my darling, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, oh. Seriously, I feel sharply go fight for divorce if you go follow me to my heart, oh my love. Follow me to my heart, oh my love. Yeah, oh. Anybody, I'm a make I no catch anybody. Yeah, you cause I feel collapse anybody. I no call here, they do the little piece. Yeah, oh. I no call here, Skadu, Alibaba, oh no be. Vibes, and inshallah, oh I no call here for this and that day, yeah. I know these small boys to put December. Cause now koto, skitty, pepe, they are saying I me they do me. Some more boys they do me. Sure you won't come go dey fast all like it to my baby. We go spray more milk. All I am is they make it more. Coconut oil, no fit to fry or do man, no man, oh baby. My darling, my darling, oh. My darling, my darling.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Channel Africa, where every moment is an African celebration. Feel the energy. Feel the connection. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Athalia Moore on that beautiful number titled Baba, and that one alongside Begazela. Before that, we had Victini coming in with My Darling, and then kick starting off the triple play was Darku, and that one titled Psycho alongside Victini, taking us to Nigeria and South Africa respectively. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. This is Heartlines. Shayla and Dikumana keeping you company, and I'm with you all the way through to midnight in Central African time. We spoke about a conversation that is yet to come, that speaks to revisiting childhood dreams or even dreams of the past. You know, maybe you're of a certain age and you're thinking to yourself, listen, I have in all honesty always wanted to be this, but I had to let the dream go because life happened. I grew up is our first form of reasoning that we usually tilt towards. Responsibilities came. The children arrived. My husband is now here. My wife is present. I have responsibilities that extend further. This thing doesn't pay money. What if, just what if, attending to that particular dream could be a powerful form of self-love? I'd love to hear from you this evening. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think dreams are left and should be left as that? Dreams, things that we once aspired to have, but not necessarily will thrive for, because I mean, it's part of the elusive areas of life. You know, it's part of the imaginary experiences that we have. And it's okay to dream a little further than you know your hand can extend. Because, I mean, what would life be if we can't imagine? Is that your thought process? Or are you saying to yourself, Shayla, in actual fact, I think I need to go back. I think I need to revisit that space. I want you to find us on WhatsApp. And I want you to send us a voice note. I'd love to hear from you this evening. I want to know, do you feel that dreams should be just that, dreams? Or do you think that there's an opportune moment to delve into what once mattered to you most? Again, that number +276 3406 9126. And so we are going to take off with firstly noting that it is Women's Month in South Africa and Tunisia. Happy Women's Month to you both. And in this Women's Month, we are shining the spotlight on women who are doing it all and still choosing themselves. Now that's very interesting. Our guest today is living proof that your dreams don't expire, even when life gets full. She's a wife, a mother, a school teacher, and still she's found her way back to the mic. Now, not as a speaker, but back to the music, back to herself. Hilda Motlatlola, affectionately known as Athalia Moore, is an educator and soulful songstress who holds various forms of education, and I know one such in humanities from the University of the Witwatersrand. She started a music journey in varsity and dropped her first single in 2018. Then in 2020, she released a debut album titled Golden, a name that couldn't be more fitting. Tonight, we will talk self-love through dream chasing, balancing through passion, and how one can continue to reflect and reimagine and chase after those things that we once held dear to ourselves. And of course, she joins us on the line to further discuss this. Athalia, welcome to Heartlines.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheila. I really appreciate the opportunity of being live with you on this interview. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Athalia, I want to just start off with firstly saying props to you. There are a lot of people who would say, listen, the kids are here, the husband is here, life is moving, okay? Life is moving, and we need to be progressive, and we need to focus on the things that matter most. And these are these newly found joys, you know, the children, the marriage, you name it. And so you returning to music must have been something very interesting. Walk us through the moment when you felt the need to look back.
One thing for sure, when you really have passion for something and you really love what you're doing, you will definitely go back. And for remembering why you are doing it, that is what motivated me the most, because I love doing music. And it's one thing for sure I would never stop doing. No matter I've got 5 kids, I'm still going to do music because it's something that I'm passionate about,
Yeah.
something that I love. And remembering how I started definitely motivated me, and also thinking about how I got here where I am today. So I wouldn't really let something so passionate, something that I really love, of which I've done so well till today. And I feel like I've done the most. And the talent that I have is for me to just giving to the people that really appreciate what I do.
Afalia, what's interesting is that you are saying that in this particular passion, yours was a driving force. Yours was one that spoke to your inner man, if you'll allow me to, and you're saying to yourself that it would be almost a crime for you to let go of this thing that you feel that you're passionate about so dearly. The reason why we're having this conversation is so that those who feel like their passions don't bring in the money, their passions don't bring in, the bread and the butter that's going to keep me alive, they don't sustain me. How do you think they need to look at it so that they can still have an appreciation for that dream?
When you're doing something that you really love, I've been there. I've been at a point whereby I would normally be the one to ask people to come to their events and perform, remembering that this is what I love doing. No matter the outcome, I love doing this. But at the end of the day, you need to remember that putting yourself down and putting your pride down and telling yourself that this is what I love. And no matter what comes out of it, one day I will definitely get to a point whereby I definitely get paid for what I'm doing. And I remember I would definitely approach people, keep going to them, telling them that, can I come to your event? I don't need even any kind of payment, as long as I can just do this, because I believe in delivering my talent and not just staying with it and not using it. So I think people need to look at it as a motivation to start somewhere, because definitely you can't start somewhere where you are making money immediately when you start something. It's more like a business. When you start on a very low kind of thing whereby the money is not enough or it's not coming in. So people just need to really start. Just start. The moment you start, you will definitely get to where you want to be, and you will definitely receive the kind of money that you are looking for. But the passion must be the one that drives you, and the love must be the one that drives you as well.
Athalia, Mara, love doesn't pay the bills. Let's talk the truth. Let's talk the truth, Athalia. Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't pay the bills,
Yeah.
but remember, we always need to start somewhere. People don't know you.
Yeah.
Who are what kind of talent do you say you have? Can we listen to you first? And they listen to you. The moment they love you, more people would want you to come and perform at their event. And when people come to you, when they've seen you somewhere, they can't say, I would like for you to come to my event and perform. Definitely they would ask, how much do you charge? That definitely is something. That's why I'm saying start with the love, have the passion first, and then after, the money will come after.
Mara Avalia, again, nah, I'm not going to let you go on this one. And I'm not going to let you go on this one because what am I doing? Right?
Money, I love it too, money. I love money too. Money is the way, but
Yeah.
you need to start with the love. Then the money will come.
And I hear you 125%. I hear you. My thing is, Athalia is not just a singer, right? She is a graduate in humanities studies in the fields of education from the University of Wits. Do you see? There's a balance.
Yeah.
Athalia is a teacher. Athalia is a wifey, And so people are thinking to themselves that there are all these things that I need to attain before I can go back to that promising passion, a passion that will restore me to me. And I find it really tricky because firstly, we do need that money to sustain our living, but also there are requirements in this life that we need to posture so that we can see the progression of, firstly, us as an individual, and of course the homestead. And so for the person who's sitting at home and saying, listen, I love drawing, but I don't know if I'll be Picasso in 20, 30 months,
Yeah.
I don't know if my paintings will sell at $200,000 in the next 10 years. And they need that interim thing. How do you continue to find your passion in different spaces without going back to singing? How was Athalia finding passion, perhaps through education studies, that helped her, cope with the reality that maybe now is not the time to practice this particular gift or this particular art form?
You need to start somewhere. That's the first thing. You need to start somewhere. And definitely you can't really choose music as a career alone without having something on the side, especially if you're starting. If you are starting, you can't just focus on music as a career alone without having an income on the side. Just as you said, I'm from Wits University. I started, while I was doing music, I had to make sure that there's something to sustain me in case music doesn't work out. So I had to make sure that I focus on my studies and push my studies, and while also pushing my passion as well as music, just as much as being a teacher is my passion. So definitely you need the money. And I started on a low budget. And that is why I said I started on approaching people at first. And now after going into teaching, studying, and then you find a job, that job helps you sustain yourself as much as music is not bringing in money, but you're able to travel and go to these events that don't bring you money. But at the end of the day, the people will see your talent, and after seeing your talent, then they will start approaching you. Then you make an extra income again. I know, my darling, money is everything. Money is definitely everything. I
Yeah.
know that. But you need to have something that sustains you on the side, especially if you want to choose a career as music.
I think, Athalia, what we can respect is you saying that it's important to know that this meant something to you. And the theme of today is self-love, right?
Yes.
And so we don't want to grind this idea that if you're not making money, what are you doing with yourself? We also want to promote the realities of loving yourself, and
Yes.
sometimes that love will come at the cost or will come at an expense before it becomes a blessing enough to bless you and your environment. Sometimes it starts with just you. And so I can respect what you're saying. Speaking about self-love and your passion for music, you recorded your first single in 2018, the same year you graduated. What pushed you?
Yeah, I graduated.
Tell me more, because that's very interesting.
It's very interesting because I was busy pushing and I didn't have my own music. I would normally do some covers when I go to events to perform. And luckily, posting your work and sharing what you do every single day or weekend, every chance you get, people actually are watching you. That's why I'm saying, even if you perform for free, but there are people that are watching you, and there are sometimes powerful people that are watching you, and that can just take one look at you and they will just approach you and you are gone. So I think some producers, they found my performances online on Facebook, they saw my work and they loved what I was doing, and they were like, hey, how about you just come into the studio and just record a song, because we believe that you have so much talent in creating your own music as well, instead of just doing karaoke's or cover songs. So innovative DJs, they invited me to their studio, and I got there and they just played a beat. One thing for sure, I just found myself singing, and I didn't even know I have the capability of writing music,
Yeah.
my own songs and my own music. And I made it. And that song, after recording it, we plugged it. It went far. Like, everything just happened so fast. And it was unbelievable for me as well, because I didn't really think that to make it in music, you can also do it on your own. I thought maybe I need to find some PR or find a recording label. But you know what? We made
Yeah.
it out. And I was so proud of myself graduating. At the same time, I have my own music out. That definitely motivated me to keep going.
Sure. And then you go on to title this 2020 release Golden.
Yes.
And this came out during the pandemic.
Yes.
I think you're very brave. I think
I'm very brave as well, because I
yeah.
knew what was coming. I knew what was happening, and I took the risk of taking a flight to Afternoon Express on SABC3 to do an interview. Only then to realize that when I come back, we went straight to lockdown. Imagine. And I just felt like this was just a golden moment for me. And already my music was recorded, and I didn't even know what title I was going to use. And that definitely motivated me to just say, you know what, this is just a miracle. I don't know what happened, and I'm so lucky.
Sure. Athalia, I want to gauge I think the risk-taking element of your dream, this performance, or this affordance of love towards self, right? Because sometimes we get scared of risks.
Yeah.
They are uncertain, unstable. All the uns, you can line them up, okay?
Yeah.
Anything that has UN and is negative, you can associate with risk sometimes in your mind, because you do not want to feel like I'm on unstable ground. This is not a solid pursuit. I'm not too sure where I'll end up next. And for somebody who is in that space and is looking to try and pursue this dream, but it feels bigger than their capacity, it feels wider than their own stretch, and they're thinking, if I do this, I'm risking it all. What would you say to them?
You know, risks are always there.
Yeah.
And one thing, we don't know the outcome of whatever risk that you are going to take. But we need to have faith. I think faith is what should be driving everyone else. Faith is what should be driving you, and remembering the purpose of what you're going to do is what needs to you need to be aware of that. The moment you are aware of the purpose of why you are doing what you want to do, then you will be able to take the risk, but taking into consideration that you need to have the faith that a good outcome is going to come out of this. You get it?
Absolutely. I hear you, ma'am. I hear you 110%. And we trust you because you have done it. You've proven to us that it is possible. The voice of one who's noted affectionately as Athalia Moore. She's an educator, a soulful songstress who holds a bachelor's in education in humanities studies from the University of Witwatersrand. She's also a wife. All right. And she is a mother.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not yet a complete wife, for sure. One
Ma'am.
thing for sure. Almost there.
No, now you have to explain, Athalia. What's going on?
No. Let's not dwell into that for now. We will come back to it. Let's focus on self-love now, because self-love is very important.
Yes.
The moment you focus so much on, becoming a mother and having so much passion for your talents and your dreams and every single thing that you're doing in life, you end up forgetting to prioritize yourself. You end up forgetting to prioritize yourself. And one thing for sure that I have, sorry about that. One thing for sure that I have decided to do, and only I am able to realize it now this year, is that I haven't been prioritizing self-love so much. And I've been taking care of my kids, taking care of my household, taking care of my work, taking care of my family as well. So I don't remember actually giving myself some self-love and appreciating myself for every single thing that I've done. And I've managed to do everything. Definitely, I don't know how I did it. I think maybe I am driven by faith. And I have so much faith that in the end, everything works out. So, but then I've realized to definitely prioritize myself and make sure that I sit and meditate, relax, put myself first, and appreciate myself, everything that I've done till this far. Yeah.
The voice of Hilda Mohlatlole, affectionately known as Athalia Moore. We were discussing the opportunity to love yourself even more through going back and chasing those dreams that we once held dear to us, those that still mean something, those that we think responsibilities might crowd, relationships might overstep. And so we are saying, would you be able, is it possible, is it feasible, is it tangible to go back and explore those dreams while we allow you to ponder on that thought, maybe even allow you some time to daydream, or shall I say night dream? And gauge whether or not this is a tangible thing for you. We're going to be shifting gears with Athalia this evening. For now, let's get some music.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa. Heartlines. Taking you into the night with love stories, fresh music, and inspiring voices from across Africa.
4 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. Kanya Nawe, that one by Athalia Moore. If you're wondering, if you were gauging, you're saying, listen, I know you've spoken about her passion, her dreams, and her revisiting these things she once dearly loved. I want to hear what it sounds like. That as a representation of all her hard work coming through together, that alongside Surprise Nene. Again, Athalia Moore joining us this evening as we continue conversations concerning that idea of self-love being met through revisiting dreams. That conversation took place in the very first hour. I told you that we'd be changing gears, and I want you to send through your questions as we get into a much deeper conversation this evening. Now, gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out, because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, the 23rd of July for hard talk, real discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the voices of a whole country affected by gender-based violence. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. Now, joining us today is a woman who wears many hats and wears them all with purpose. Hilda Mohlatlole, affectionately known as Athalia Moore, is not just a mother, a singer. She's also an educator whose work during the day is with children from all walks of life. And today, she's here not just as an artist, but as a teacher on the front lines, where the effects of gender-based violence often show up quietly, tragically, and in the lives of learners. Let's welcome back Hilda to the show. Athalia, in actual fact, is where we will stay. Welcome back. Again, thank you for staying with us. We're speaking about gender-based violence, and often when speaking on GBV, we refer to adults. I want to know, how often does this trauma show up in schools and classrooms?
If I am being honest, I'm just looking at my workplace because I don't know much about what could be happening in other schools. But in my workplace, we don't really experience a lot of kids who actually experience gender-based violence at home or being seen by their parent. But we do allow our kids to be more open about what could be happening in their homes in case they're experiencing some gender-based violence, any kind of abuse that could be happening at home, taking myself into consideration as being a life skills educator, where I'm teaching PSW, which means personal and social well-being, of which we are educating kids about bullying, we are educating kids about abuse, we are educating kids about HIV and AIDS, all kinds of diseases that could be happening amongst us. So I definitely motivate my learners and give them the safe space where they could feel free to share what they could be experiencing at home in case it's some sort of a danger to them. So, but we don't experience a lot of that, but we do educate our kids, and we do get some motivational speakers and some social workers to come and speak to our kids so that they feel more safe in case maybe they are afraid of sharing with their teachers.
As a teacher, what are some of the first signs you've picked up? I know that you've said that this isn't often experienced where you work, but for the moments where you did see something, what are some of those first signs that you picked up on, particularly with children who may be exposed to violence at home?
Maybe sometimes when you speak to a child and you could see that you are allowing them to share what could be wrong with them. Because sometimes maybe a child would just cry, and you would just ask them, what could be making you cry? And some would say, I can't share because my mom said I shouldn't be telling, or I shouldn't be talking about what's happening at home. Or maybe a child would say, I'm afraid of saying anything, ma'am. Then we would know that this child needs help, and then we would definitely call some social workers so that maybe the child could be more open towards them, and maybe they could share what could be happening. Sometimes it's not really because it's abuse. Sometimes it could be because a child is grieving, maybe for example, one of the learners in my school was her sister lost her baby. So that definitely affected her, and she was crying all by herself. So I had to call her on the side and ask what is going on. Then you would know that something is wrong, and I would ask the child, and they would share what is going on. But usually, when it comes to abuse, kids don't really want to say much. But sometimes you would find it in their books, because when you are talking about abuse, teaching them about abuse, asking questions, some of them would actually write what is happening in the book, so than to share with you. So they prefer writing. I don't know if maybe they think I won't see what they wrote, but you would see maybe what could be happening. Maybe a child would say, yes, I have experienced abuse. My mom was beating my father. So that is where you would actually notice and find signs. Then you would know that you need to approach the child and try to see how you can help them.
Hilda, this is a sensitive matter, is the truth, and having to discuss this with a child can be such a tedious task for an adult, because we are so used to getting the answers we want to get in that moment. Of course, with all the right intention, an adult can approach a child and miserably fail at getting them, firstly, to understand that this is a safe space, but also to understand what the real issue is at hand. You, as a life skills teacher, how do you navigate conversation? You said that children would write it down in their books. Would you respond with a note? How do you carry out conversation so that they feel safe, seen, and heard?
Usually, I would say most kids prefer being spoken to. So I would rather maybe choose to call the learner, speak to them privately, try and find out what is going on, and the child would explain what is going on. So they prefer maybe sharing while you are speaking to them face to face. And I don't usually. I would not usually use some letters. I would normally call the child, speak to them, ask them what's going on. Sometimes they would write that my mom was beating my father. That's how I've experienced or I've seen abuse. And sometimes they would just write because it's the answers they have, and they're just creating them. Because some of them, when you would ask them, they would say, no, it's not happening. But one thing for sure, you'll never be for sure until you actually try to get into a deep conversation and make the child feel comfortable so they can be able to open up to you if it's true or not.
And Hilda, with respect to escalating the matter, if you as an adult, and I suppose we're having this conversation to ensure that an adult who is listening feels like they are capacitated with the right kind of information, right? Sometimes you are the neighbor next door and you see that the child is not okay, but you don't know how to navigate. You don't want to scare them off. You don't want them to relive presets in their mind to say that maybe adults of this nature are violent, or they'll hurt me, or they'll do such and such a thing to me. And so we're having this conversation so that adults and those who are caregivers of any kinds, or of any caliber, if you will, are comfortable enough to go to the child and have a conversation that will allow them to firstly understand how to apply some form of treatment, but also when to take it to authorities. And let's touch base on that, I suppose. How does one carry it out outside the teacher context? How does an adult begin to have a conversation? Because going back to the parents is naturally what we do. If your child is not okay, we come to you. You're the caregiver, right? But in this case, you as the caregiver are proving to be problematic. Where do adults turn to?
I think the first thing that normally would happen, first thing you need to be able to create a safe space for the kids, because kids need to be comfortable. They need to be able to open up to you about everything. That is why you need to keep checking up every single time or every chance you get. It would normally not be every single day, but whatever time you get, you need to keep checking up on your daughter or your son, and you need to keep checking how on their well-being, able to share and hear their stories about what happened today at school, um, be able to understand the relationships or the friendships they have, and being able to talk to your child about any single thing that could happen to a teenager. So creating a safe space is the most important thing at first, and after creating a safe space, then kids will be able to be more comfortable to share their feelings and thoughts, or what could be happening or what they are experiencing. And then coming to an adult of where they could go or where they can report to. I think it's never easy most of the time, but sometimes even coming into a school is also helpful, because we do have managers who are able to share the social workers details with the parents, because that's where it starts, and they can take it further to report it where it needs to be reported as well.
And Hilda, you're a mom,
Yeah.
right? How do you go about addressing this conversation with your children? Because, I mean, you want your children to be conscious of the realities. Do you feel like they should be addressed concerning GBV, firstly? And secondly, how do you do it?
Um, my kids are still young anyway. My
Yeah.
son is 2 years and my daughter is like 1 year, 4 months. So, but it starts small. It starts small, because normally, as parents as well, maybe we'd be playing around the house, and you're just playing around and maybe trying to to press on each other, but playfully, not really fighting. But
Yeah.
sometimes you see from my son's expression, he'd be like, and you would see him going to his daddy, trying to beat him, because he could see that no, 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 no. Are you guys playing, or are you guys beating each other? You see, that
Mm,
you need to make your child aware that, my baby, no, that is not what is happening. Your dad is not beating me. We are just playing around. But in that moment, it should be your chance to explain to your child, um, when when what gender-based violence is, and the kind of abuses that they could come across. So, but
mm,
it's even at a young age, as much as I'm not there yet at a point where I'm able to speak to my son and my daughter about any kind of abuse. Um, but then kids are already aware. They could see whether you're chasing each other around, trying to play, or being playful, having fun in the house. Um, but sometimes kids would really see it as daddy is beating mommy, or mommy,
mm,
you see. So I think from those playful moments that I would normally have with my partner, I could see that my son is feeling in a particular way and he doesn't like what is happening. And in that moment, you'll have to sit him down and explain to him that, baby, we are just playing around. But then when it is the right time to protect your child, then you need to be mindful of the games that you play in the house,
yeah.
because sometimes a baby wouldn't understand it as a game. They would see it as abuse, you see.
Mm,
So, but yeah.
sure. With that being said, Teacher Hilda is what I think they call you at school.
Mem Motlatlole.
Ma'am?
Mem Motlatlole.
Oh, Ma'am Motlatlole. Oh, come on. I love that. Ma'am Motlatlole. It has been a pleasure speaking to you this evening. I think outside you shining your own light on how to continuously chase those dreams wholeheartedly. You've also given us a thing or two to think about when it comes to dealing with children and matters of gender-based violence, ensuring that firstly we are interacting as adults before them in a way that they would perceive as loving, caring, and of course nurturing, as opposed to straying away from that and sort of introducing thoughts to them that might not even be the case. But also how to speak to children, how to ensure that these children understand that it's okay to speak out and this is a safe space. So we really do thank you for joining us this evening. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheila.
That is the voice of Madam or Ma'am Mohlatlole, joining us this evening, affectionately known by her crowds as Athalia Moore. She is a mother, she is a singer, she is a teacher, and one who pours herself into every single aspect of her life with love, joy, and absolute excitement for what lies ahead. And so we had an opportunity to have a twofold conversation with her. The very first concerning self-love and the ability to love yourself through achieving past dreams. Is it possible, tangible, feasible? Is it even something we should do, is what I want to ask you this evening. Find us on WhatsApp. The number is +27 63406 9126. And then we went over to speak to matters of gender-based violence, gauging her experiences as a teacher and just taking note of how children perform and behave in classrooms, especially when exposed or having experienced gender-based violence. Again, share your thoughts and views with us, finding us on WhatsApp +27 63406 9126. It is 21 after 11 p.m. Central African Time.
Nighttime radio, just the way you like it, on Channel Africa, where the night comes alive.
This is my place. This is my space. I was here first. Ooh, grab a seat, get comfortable. This is my place. This is my space. I was here first. Ooh, grab a seat, get comfortable. Did I suffer for another woman? Did I endure pain, inexplicable pain for another lady? No, baby, I'll be damned if I walk away just to let her have a taste of your love, my love, real love, built on my tears, pain, sweat, and blood. No, I'm never giving up. No, I'm never letting up. So I'm holding on, no letting go. So baby, grab a seat, get comfortable, 'cause this my place, my space. I was here first. Ooh, grab a seat, get comfortable. I call dibs on what is mine. She can't have you. You're my life, can't you see? I know we aren't meant to be, but there is something inside of me, and it won't budge, stays in my head. My patience is thin as a thread. Baby, don't test me. Oh, oh, baby, don't test me. Baby, don't test me. You know I love you. I'll always be there for you. This is my place, baby. This is my space. I was here first. Grab a seat, get comfortable. Ooh. I say I don't so far.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
ፍቅር ስለሆነ የልቤ ቁም ነገር መውደድ አይሰለቸኝ ተስፋ እንዲሆን ሀገር መውደድ አይሰለቸኝ ተስፋ እንዲሆን ሀገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ሸጋው አንተ ሳለ መውደድ ጠቢ መስል ለምን ትሸሻለህ መውደድ ጠቢ መስል ለምን ትሸሻለህ የታመመ ገላ እንደሚሻን መዳን የዘገየ ተጓዥ ይላል ፈጠን ፈጠን አልኩኝ ፈጠን ፈጠን ወደ አንተ ለመድረስ ህመሜ ባንተ እጅ ቢሆን የሚፈወስ የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም የቁርጥማት ሐኪም አትሆንም አንተ ሰው የታመመ ልቤ ልብ ቢፈውሰው የታመመ ልቤ ልብ ቢፈውሰው የቤታችን ሞገስ እንዳይጎለው ግርማ እመቤት ልሁን ሁነኛ ባወራ እመቤት ልሁን ሁነኛ ባወራ የታመመ ገላ እንደሚሻን መዳን የዘገየ ተጓዥ ይላል ፈጠን ፈጠን አልኩኝ ፈጠን ፈጠን ወደ አንተ ለመድረስ ህመሜ ባንተ እጅ ቢሆን የሚፈወስ የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ያ ሁሉ ኩራቴ አፈ ታሪክ ሆኖ ልቤ ተሸነፈ ለፍቅር ተማርኮ ልቤ ተሸነፈ ለፍቅር ተማርኮ አዳሩ መቻደር ተንሰብሰለስል ትዝታ ያስተኛ ቁርጥማት ይመስል ፍቅር ያስተኛ ቁርጥማት ይመስል የታመመ ገላ እንደሚሻን መዳን የዘገየ ተጓዥ ይላል ፈጠን ፈጠን አልኩኝ ፈጠን ፈጠን ወደ አንተ ለመድረስ ህመሜ ባንተ እጅ ቢሆን የሚፈወስ የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም የልቤ ቁም ነገር የልቤ ቁም ነገር ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም ኧረ እንዳንተ የለም
Heartlines, 10 p.m. to midnight Central African Time with Sheila Dukumana.
Look at me, dada. As my dreadlocks are longer. I know say right now, now my time, I no go waste them rara. I go use them dada. I go use them dada. Innocentness in a bastard. I receive I'm jeje. So if I do you wrong, I apologize. For the people who they sympathize, I gotta go make them larger. Full of snakes and spiders. Make a wrong move, lose your life, make it hard for your mother to sleep at night. Street no love you right. Some people they for mortuary. Some people they for hospital. Count your blessing one by one. Sure bet, yeah, time has come to lift our voices. Lift my voice in prayer.
Burner Boy coming in with Higher, bringing us to 30 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. Beautiful music coming in before that by Yeleba, and that one titled Hallelujah. Oh, this is a very interesting one, taking us to the east of Africa. And I believe the name is Tekle Tzadik. And then we kick-started off with Libyanka, and that one titled My Place. If you've just joined us, Heartlines is in session. Shayla and Dikumana keeping you company. And I want us to further delve into the conversation that was. We did host an immaculate Hilda Mohlatlole, who's affectionately known as Halia rather more, and she is of course an educator, and we were looking at the spheres of GBV within the classroom. And so I've roped in another individual who I feel can bring us even more deeper into the subject matter. She is a psychology graduate. She is an actress. She's an advocate for very many spaces. And I know that one such space is the safety of children and ensuring that children do grow up in environments that are conducive, not just for their upbringing, but also for their ability to be able to strive further in life. She's also my producer. Can I just brag a bit over there? She's also my producer, responsible for what you hear on Heartlines. Joining me in studio is Nolo Bebetsi Matlailai. Do I say your surname correctly?
Perfectly.
Really? Oh,
oh, but you don't need to memorize it. It's going to change eventually. So.
Don't make me scream. Do not, please. This is not the conversation. I'm not supposed to be screaming.
Okay.
All right. So, ma'am, here's my. I want to get into just gauging the classroom, because I think that's a place that we haven't had an opportunity to discover as firstly as a country, a continent, when it comes to GBV, is that we will talk about children, but in the context of a homestead, when they spend a majority of their time in the classroom. And I'd love to know how these signs present themselves. Are they isolated, these children? Do they play with children well? What are the signs and symptoms? Because I read a recent article, and the article said that children exposed to pornography tend to become violent. This is a sign that isn't directly translating, right? Because their frontal cortex, or the front of their brain rather, is not perceiving the information for what it is. This intrinsically, and I couldn't understand how, makes them violent in school settings. So they won't be touchy-feely with other children. They'll want to beat children up. They want to bully children. So I want to know what GBV presents itself as in the classroom, on the playground.
Okay. So I think I would speak on the foundational phase, right? Not necessarily in your teens.
Yeah.
Reason being, I've worked with children within foundation phase. Foundation phase, we're talking 4 to 10, age 4 to 10, right? And how a child between those ages would show signs of coming from a home of GBV, or they themselves are abused to a certain extent, is that, which is strange, by the way, and this is the crazy thing about how the child's psyche works. You would expect a child to be at school and be reserved and be afraid of people and be recluse and be a reserved individual. You know, what do they call them? An introvert. Quite to the contrary, a child looks at school as a safe space, right? Because home is not safe. So a child's schooling or school hours are their safer space, right? And you'd find children that are the ones that, you know, the class clown, the one that's always making everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Check on that child.
Ooh.
They're using laughter as a way of covering up what they're actually going through at home. That way people can never find out what they're going through at home. So, you know, the one that always makes everybody laugh, maybe within a group, they're the ones that are talkative and throwing jokes around. You know, those kids are hiding something. It's not that they're vocal because, you know, they're naturally funny. You'd find that they're hiding something. Bullies as well are hiding something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bully is also just trying to, it's a defense mechanism. So at home, at school, they present the version of themselves they would like to see because they see it as a safe space.
What of the child who hides in the book?
That too as well.
Because I
That too as
can
well, yeah.
imagine, because you are presenting to me extremities. The class clown, the bully. What of the child who's a super A student?
Absolutely.
And has no social skills.
Yeah.
Does not want to engage with people. I can only imagine that they too.
Yeah, and usually those kids, the ones that sink their heads in books and are A students, you'd also find that they have started developing codependency traits. Right, so you performing well is a way of receiving that love and attention from your parents that you could not get before.
Sure.
Yeah. Another one that you can pick up in a child is a child who's always crying wolf.
Yeah.
Who's always sick. Either there's today it's a headache, tomorrow it's a stomach ache, and then they receive attention from the teacher.
Yeah.
Because they don't receive it at home. Maybe the sibling is the one who receives more attention than the child herself. So she would display sickly type of illnesses even though they're imaginary. They're not really there. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's really interesting is because we are focusing on the context of GBV, right? And children either witnessing or experiencing themselves this particular context. How then do we begin to facilitate conversation? I know that you said that the school premises, school is a safe space, right? They tend to exude who they'd like to be seen in society as, and obviously this in context to receiving the attention they believe they need, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And so my gauge, or rather what I'd love to gauge you next on, is how do I facilitate conversation without tapping into the jokester or the bully or the girl who's going to tell me about the books, and if I try and get it to become more vulnerable with me, will sort of creep away. How do we open that platform?
That's an interesting one, Sheila, because also these kids, because of the defense mechanisms or the facade that they put up at school, it's highly unlikely that they would open up when you're sitting with them after everybody else has left the class and you're just left with that kid. And you want to ask, tell me, how's home? How's everything at home? The child would never say, my goodness, it's bad, and they start crying. They will never open up that easy, right? Because also they feel like they're betraying the family members by talking about this at school. The best thing which I've seen working so far, and I don't know how many other educational psychologists practice it, is to zone into what the child loves to do in terms of recreational work. Recreational as in maybe art. Does the child love drawing? Does the child love music? Does the child love maybe crocheting, because schools do crocheting now, right? Get them into that type of zone, something that they like, because it's an escape. While a child is in escape, best time to grab them. You don't directly ask the question, how's home? Do you like drawing? Yeah. Who do you draw with at home? Or draw me a picture of your mom, dad. Or a typical day, you will pick up signs, just like Athalia was letting us know. You'd pick up things in books, the answers that the kids say. So when you find a child's best activity, use them in that space because they've let their guard down.
Yeah.
And then ask questions. Look, it's very evident that we can no longer leave the responsibility of a child's psychological well-being to the teachers anymore. Home is also important for us to cultivate or safeguard a child's psyche. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, if you are a parent who is involved in an abusive relationship with a partner that lives with you guys in the same home or household, and those fights are unavoidable, and sometimes they go from being verbal abuse to physical, I would advise that try and take it away from the kids. Do it away from the kids. Because the psychological damage that is on a child that grew up in an abusive home extends far beyond their childhood, and it starts being prevalent in their adulthood, in their marriages even.
I think the reality, Nolo, that we need to look at is, and this is not a defense against what is currently happening. I think I've learned to respect the fact that if parents knew better, they would have done better.
True.
Is a fact. If you knew better, and not know as in head knowledge, you understood that this was better. You know a better way to combat the desire to want to hit someone. You know that your words will be heard. Because remember, these parents also come from homes. And they're expressing what they were exposed to. And so as much as we are trying to create some sort of safe space, I think we need to allow for the reality that if people knew better, they would have done better. And so because they don't know better, we need to speak to those who are in contact with the children to create a better space for them, right? And no one likes their child being pulled away from them. It brings no value to you as an individual to know that I'm not capacitated at the moment, but it brings value to that child.
Yeah.
And so I think in all the conversations, because I've been listening to GBV conversations, and to an extent we are trying to single out the perpetrator, rightfully so. However, the reality is if they knew better, they would have done better.
True, but some of us then find it as a societal norm. Are you aware of that? Very true. And very true. If I may, in most Kasi areas, right? Can I call them informal settlements? No? No, I think that would be a bit... Sounds like it's a rural area. It's not. But let me give you an example. In an area like a township like Alex, houses are closer to each other, correct? Because of how the setup is. Yeah. You'd find that next door, the family that lives next door is constantly fighting, and you know the fight is going to end in a physical altercation. Yeah. But it's very rare that you'd find the neighbors running in to assist. Why? Because to them it is a norm, right? So yes, you may have grown up that way, and you find yourself in a marriage that exactly like that. You look at that as a norm. It's a normacy, and that child looks at it as a norm as well. And guess what? That child is also going to get in an abusive relationship, because we are perpetuating this vicious cycle, right? And I think maybe I speak so passionately about it because I have, worked extensively with kids that come from those kind of homes. I have been around individuals who come from abusive homes, and I think I've also done some thorough research in my psychology studies on why is it that childhood traumas tend to creep up in adulthood, because we didn't deal with them in childhood.
And that's fair. And this is why you, Nolo, and every other individual, myself included, who have an opportunity to gauge these children now, create better environments, right? And this is why we'll have the SABC campaign running, and this is why we'll have these conversations on air. The idea is, and I'm saying this because I've seen the tilt towards finding the perpetrator and putting the spotlight on them, or speaking about how negative it is. It's not going to change the fact it's happening. Because if people knew better, they would have done better. So ours is to create environments, systems of operation where there is better. We don't want to see it happen again. How can we make the school environment better? We don't want to see it happen again. How can we make the friend group of the parent better? We don't want to see it happen again. How can we make that child's group better, right? Because children talk. As much as they might not confide in each other extensively or speak deeply about what they're going through, they talk. You know, how can we inform our children so that when she says, so-and-so touched me, the next child will say, no, that's not right. Let's go tell teacher X, you know? And so it's about creating hubs of this improved state that we want to see, and then bringing the people in.
Yeah.
And those who are struggling to change will see the ramifications of that, right? But to not create that environment, I think, is what can prove to be problematic. And this is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think those systems will also just help eradicate the idea that this is a normalcy. Because that's what I'm picking up. Like, oh, it's a norm. Oh, it happens. Oh, shame, it happened to so-and-so.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to.
Talk to me about your work. You have worked extensively with children and been around individuals. You know, this has been something that you've poured yourself into. Let's use some typical examples where you have seen success, I think.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. There was a campaign that I used to run a while with a certain production house, right? And we wanted to offer men an ear to speak. In case maybe they have realized their mistake as the perpetrator and they want to just be given a chance to say, I'm sorry, you know, to whom they've hurt. Because you'd find that you have children that just want to be a part of their lives, and you cannot because of how things worked out between you and the other parent. So we're giving this man a chance to speak out. So as I think back, I realized that that was actually an opportunity for the perpetrator to get a second chance. And also you're coming on national TV to come and say, I did this and I'm sorry. So for me, I felt like that was a life-changing thing, because as much as we may come from broken homes, we don't have to raise broken adults. And it starts with you acknowledging that I was wrong. This is not how life is supposed to be. This is not how your partner is supposed to be treated. You see, so I loved that campaign, and I still wish that we can still take it further, right? And it goes back to what you were saying, like, let's not always single out the perpetrator as the villain, because after some sort of rehabilitation, this person still wants to say, sorry, I've done the time, but I'm sorry, can I have a relationship with my kids? I don't know what was happening to me at that time. I don't know what mental illness I was dealing with, right? And then I think the other one that I've realized, which still warms my heart to this day, was a lady who decided to end her marriage because she said, I was raised in an abusive home. And I am the way I am today, attracting one abusive partner after the next, because it was a normacy in my childhood. But I cannot allow it to be a normacy in my children's lives. It stops with me. And that is a selfless act, you know, saying it's okay. I will deny myself a pleasure with a significant other, or, you know, feeling special and seen for the sake of these kids' well-being. You know, so like I said, it also the parents need to take accountability. As much as you may also be a victim, can you remember that you are raising kids that are also looking at how you respond to this toxic household?
Let's talk about recovery for a second. Given that you've worked with these organizations, you've witnessed this woman's life, I want to gauge recovery, because you pulling out from a situation that's harmful doesn't change your mindset. It removes the harm. And so how do we recover? I mean, and this is, of course, with your extensive work, with your psychology background. How does one flip the script in your mind. Yes, the harm is gone. Yes, the normacy of an experience that was, if I want to get my word heard, I must beat you.
Yeah.
Or if I want to make sure that you listen to me, I should scream at the top of my lungs with all kinds of derogatory terminology so I can get your attention, because that is a form of abuse.
Of course.
And so how do I change that and say that's not the way forward?
Ooh. Yeah, no, because changing it in your psyche is easier said than done.
Yes.
Especially if you're used to a certain pattern. But I would say find your reason why. If you could escape the clutches of that abuse once before, find your reason why and stick to that reason why. If your reason is your kids, if your reason is your mental well-being, if your reason is simply just stopping the perpetual vicious cycle, find your strong reason why and stick to it and run with it, because ever so often humans are creatures of habit. You know, how many times has a victim of abuse gone back to the perpetrator and said, no, guys, we've worked things out. No, things are going to be okay. Or how many times did they stay because they're not willing for their lives to be inconvenienced? You know? Your life is going to change. Oh, no, your life is going to change. You must be ready for the change. And it may not be pleasant most of the time. It could be as typical as starting all over from scratch after all those years of building with this individual. It may be as terrible as disappointing family members. Because, you know, why are you guys embarrassing us like that? Why are there talks of divorce and separation? You know? But you have to find your reason why. I think you need to find your firm reason why.
And it is on that note, at 10 minutes to midnight in Central African time, that we will thank Nolo Bebezi. Thank you so much for that edition.
Yeah.
Beautiful, brilliant, and you've given us much to think on.
Yeah.
Listen, we take a quick break. When we come back, we conclude the show.
Leaving the moment, tomorrow belongs to God. Nothing can break me, nothing can bend me, nothing can bring me down. But love what you hate, we all deserve a chance. La 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 la. I don't go where no love, where my home. Caraibo, down Soweto, long, long way. Wala wala la, wala wala, wala wala, oh wala wala, oh yo wala, oh wala, oh yo, oh Lord.
Yeah, show me love. I work hard. My brother man, I work hard just to chill. I live a life that's surreal. Every time I cool my temper, somebody wanna enjoy. It's not so serious. Yeah, you know I try to forget, get a hold of my head. I live a life so free, yeah. I don't know if I need it all, but I know I'ma take it all. Check yourself, you can have it all, oh. Vanity, you can have it all. I don't see different kind of love, so I know if it's real enough. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't go where no love, where my home. Caraibo, down Soweto, long, long way. Wala wala la, wala wala, wala wala, oh wala wala,
It is a show with Wizkid, that one titled IDG, bringing us to 54 after 11 p.m. Central African Time. SABC Sport brings you Chasing the Sun, a powerful 5-part documentary series about the Springboks, telling the arousing tale, or rather the arousing tale of their path to redemption and ultimate World Cup glory in 2019. Tune in every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2 for the highs, the heartache, and the heroics that made rugby history. Stream each chapter on SABC Plus anytime, anywhere. No subscription needed. Don't miss Chasing the Sun this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2. Be there when history shines.
Heartlines. Your late night window into Africa's deep conversations.
5 minutes before the show comes to an end, Morris Touch of the Afro Republic is on standby, and he's going to be letting us know what to expect in the next 5 minutes. Morris, hello, how are you?
Hey Shayla, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
My weekend was rather fruitful. Listen, Morris, I've been let to know that today you look like a sensational hip-hop artist. You need to walk me through the fit, okay? What are we wearing? Why are we wearing the way we wear? What's going on, Morris? What do we not know about?
Why am I not seeing you? It's a new month, and we are fast approaching summer. Summer is my favorite, but I don't like winter because it doesn't allow me to be myself. I think I'm a very summer person, so hence my wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
Light, not very heavy. I don't like heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Even if I think even if I liked it, I wouldn't be able to get as much as I get stuff for summer.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Mr. Morris, we hear you. So the outfit check is because of winter. You're blaming your hip hop look on winter.
What I'm saying is the temperatures have already picked up, so they allow me to wear light stuff. It's very light. As opposed to the stuff that I usually wear all the time. It's very heavy. It's your typical winter stuff where you just throw on everything just to feel warm. You just want to feel warm.
Okay, so this is Morris Touch. We're now being reintroduced to Morris Touch.
I'll take that as a compliment.
What can we expect on the Afro Republic?
We are starting a new month. We are celebrating women. I have a series that I've been hosting for the past couple of years, and it's called Pink Records. What Pink Records does is it celebrates women in music, and the music that we then feature, most of it is made and produced by women. So you will find that they will try by all means to give you profiles related to so many African women that have done well in the music space throughout the month of August. So look forward to that. We kick off today with a profile of one of Africa's finest musicians, her contribution to the growth, development, and success of African music. It's not anything that anyone can question. It's out there. It's there. You can see it. You don't need to read about it. That's what we're looking at today. And the lady that we're talking about is the lady that is right behind me, and that's Angelique Kidjo.
I believe is she 5-time Grammy Award winning?
Yes, yes. She's in the very same league with the likes of Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. Whenever they talk about African artists that have done well, Angelique Kidjo's name comes up, and she's an amazing performer. I've always told people that when you watch Angelique Kidjo, you don't mind watching her again because every time it surprises you when she's on stage.
Well, Morris, I'll leave that in your hands and, of course, make way and room for you to come and take over. Thank you so much for joining us. The voice of Morris Touch of the Afro Republic. Up in the next 2 minutes from the team and I, it has been an absolute pleasure. On technical, we have Ndate Franz. On production, we have Nolo Pebetsi. And I am Shayla Ndikumana. Until tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central African time, it's cheers for now.
This song is titled Zino Shamisa, meaning miracles. Zino Zandino wona pasipano, Zino Shamisa. Zino Zandino wona pasipano, Zino Shamisa. Embepo kufuritsa, ichienda kwa ino yendawo. Yesu tigere pasipano, hapana kwatino yenda. Zino Shamisa.